So working from home is like, I mean, I know a lot of people started from like when COVID started, but working from home, or I'm not going to just say working from home, but like being my own boss, being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and even the working from home aspect, I think, especially during COVID, was really cool. I mean, so you save gas. You type in, if you need lunch right now, you can go grab lunch, and that was a really cool aspect. I know a lot of businesses were closing during like the COVID era, like brick and mortar stores, but my business was thriving. And I'll get a little bit more into who I am, um, and what I do, but because people realize that you don't necessarily have to go into work to get the job done, it became really great for me. So we're glad to have you here, Ken. Piero, welcome to the group. We'll be starting here in a few minutes. We're just doing some introductions. Again, everybody's on mute, but feel free to unmute yourself and either type in the chat box or let me know who you are. Welcome. This is for you guys. So I do this weekly. It's not for me, I promise.
Hey, Tim. Are you the overnight coder?
Yeah, I am, Shelby. So Sam, it looks like he's still in the group, but he has some things to do. Normally, Sam is the guy that works for ListingPro. I think he's like the number 2 guy over there. I'm the overnight coder, also known as Tim, and I'm not affiliated with them, but we do these webinar weeklies to help out. And I built a bunch of directories.
Oh, that's awesome. You're like the only person online or on YouTube that has any kind of helpful tutorials and stuff for Listing Pro. So I really appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Shelby. That's why I kept, I want to say 2, 3 years ago, I tried like 5 or 6 themes, and Listing Pro out of the box was the best theme for me. Again, I'm not affiliated, so I don't get paid by them or anything crazy. Um, but just I posted that first video, and it has 30,000, probably a little bit more than 30,000 views. And I realized that there was a niche for this. I used to be just a regular web designer. Like, I mean, I work from morning till dark. I have 4 kids. I support my wife, who is also needy. But I feed 6 over here. And for the past 2.5 years, I've just been creating directory websites, and Listing Pro has definitely helped out with that. Custom designs help out with that as well. But it's a real good niche that is like I've just had a lot of success with it. So I appreciate all my viewers. I appreciate you for even showing up, and I appreciate the comments as well. Again, it's highly profitable, and we'll get into that today. Shelby, wait, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I was going to ask, do you see more success with having like location-based directories or like focusing on a certain group of people?
No, so it's both are equal. I'm going to tell you that. So here's the deal. My videos, you'll notice I am raw, uncut, uncensored. I know that I know we have a few people in this group, and it's a good group, and we might even get some more. So I don't sugarcoat anything, but I'll tell you that I've seen some directories with really bad ideas. And I've seen some directories with really good, really good ideas. And I think it's the dedication and the stuff you put into it. And I'll give you a few examples. I've got a guy, and I don't want you guys to steal these examples. You're not going to beat me with the SEO and the sites that I'm doing, but again, well, maybe some of you guys will. But the fact of the matter is, I've done a bunch of island directories like Bahamas. I've done Norway. I've done I can name a bunch that are just going to be great directories because there's no competition in what they're doing. I've also seen people do all over the world, but yellow pages. Like they want to try to beat out yellow pages. And to me, if you don't have a niche and you don't have, it doesn't have to be a niche. It could be location, like you said. So that's why I say 50-50. But if you don't have a good idea, you're not gonna be yellow pages. So another great example of that is I have a kiteboarding directory. And if you don't know kiteboarding is that fun sport. It's kind of like wakeboarding, but you have a huge kite in the air. And it's a niche. While there are 4 or 5 competitors out there for me, I rank higher than all of them, by the way. But while they are out there, I offer something for the user. Because yeah, all your businesses you can usually find on Google, right? I mean, but you got to have a reason why those visitors would go to you, right? So if I'm in Orlando, Florida, or right outside, but if I did an Orlando, Florida directory, it's peace of mind. Like you can go to my directory and you can figure out, hey, what are the events in Orlando? What are the business lists? I'm looking for something to do. I'm looking for horseback riding, which usually doesn't exist in the city. But do you have it? And if you offer that, you can do it in either niche or location. But again, so I have speech therapy all across the United States. That's a good directory, you know. But if you were doing like, and I hate to say this because this is kind of like borderline, but if you were doing like home services in the United States, that might, and I'm not here to say yes or no, but that might not be too niched enough to really be like, okay, home services. So I'm looking for a plumber right now because my kids flushed a mermaid down the toilet, which really happened. I'm not looking for I'm just typing in plumber, you know, so it might not be enough niche, but I love to talk about it and I can help you out with those niches if you guys need. So right now we're just doing the introduction. I'm going to give about 2 more minutes. Keep in mind, everybody is on everybody's on mute. You can feel free to unmute yourself for the next 2 minutes. I just want to kind of like do some introductions and then we'll get to the questions and answers. Just so you guys know, this is a question and answers group, but because the few groups that we had, sometimes we got a good turnout today, but I just want to focus it. If we're not talking about questions and answers, we're going to first go into advertising your new business directory. And then we're going to jump into monetization of those directories. Now, just to give you guys, matter of fact, I'll let you guys do introductions, and then I'll tell you who I am, why I'm doing this, you know, and what are the benefits. But anybody else, unmute yourself, or the chat box is good too. We get to all the chat. Let us know who you are, you know, why you're here. What, you know, have you bought the theme? Are you into the theme? Are you making money? And thank you so much, Shelby, for that first intro. By the way, guys, I'm a little under the weather, so if you hear that like sniffling voice, that's my kid. So I'll get into the introduction. I have 4 kids, 2 of them are in school, and if you guys don't already know this, school is a petri dish for colds. I don't have COVID. I got. Well, let's not get into what I have, but it's definitely just a cold, so my voice sounds a little bit different. But Piero, welcome to the group. Nabil, I know who you are. I appreciate you coming. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Anybody, Tony, anybody want to introduce yourself?
I will. I don't mind.
Hey, Claire, how are you?
I'm all right. Hello from the UK. I don't know who else is here, whether you're all from the USA or whether you're from other parts of the world. Who knows?
We got a mixed group.
Oh, well, hello from the UK. I'm currently listening to you on my phone, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere in the woods with my horse.
Nice. So give me a sec. Can you guys still hear me? Yes?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wait a minute. I unplugged my speakers. I can't hear anybody now. Oh no. Maybe I have to get, hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect. So Claire, I just had the pleasure of meeting Claire. Actually, I think I've known Claire for a while, but Claire has a ListingPro website that she's been working on. So she's definitely in the game, definitely from the UK. And Claire, we're glad to have you today.
Oh, nice to be here. Hope to learn something. Always good to learn.
And who else? So we got Kenji. I've created a new site. I'll actually pull up your site, so don't be shy. I'll give it a few, but Ken, again, we appreciate you coming here. I see in your chat you say it's not a full-time job, but you're thinking about getting into it. Some recommendations I have is keep your job until you start making that money that you want to see, right? I mean, nobody wants to like. Now I will tell you, at some point, I was a kiteboard instructor for many years, and I took a 33% partnership of a kiteboarding company for lessons, and it paid really well. But at some point, I was like, I just went all in with my main business, which is web design / directory design / my own adventures. Now again, I'm not solo. I know I kind of mentioned this. I feed 6 here. So I have 6 dependents that I feed. We live in a wonderful house, beach lifestyle. And at some point, and some of these people in this room can vouch for me. Being your own boss is awesome, because I'm a great employee. I'm a great sales guy. I'm a great work. I work from morning till dark, which is unfortunate because some of you guys, we have that 9 to 5 job, and that sounds cool too. But again, I kind of do what I want to do. But now if I decide to make my workplace or my jobs better, I don't benefit some other boss. And that's what I got. Like I was an admin at a internet cafe, admin at a restaurant. I've always been like in charge in my previous jobs, but I only felt like you're only as good. Like it's like you're making somebody else money. Right. So again, don't quit your day job yet. Make sure you're making the money that you want to make, and then go full focus and start making more money. And yeah, quit that normal job, my friend. Any other introductions before we get started? Again, some of you guys are on mute. Feel free to unmute yourself. If you're just joining, we've got a good group here. Unmute yourself. There's a chat box too. I get to all the questions, and we'll get started here in just a minute. Who else we got? Piero, Tony, Vicky, still haven't heard from you. Remember, unmute. Eugene, I know your name from somewhere. Mark, again, let us know who you guys are. I'll give you guys a minute, 2 minutes, and let's get started. Got UK. What time is it in the UK right now? So I don't have to Google it.
It's 16:07, 4:07.
Wait, what was that? 7:47?
No, 7 minutes past 4 in the afternoon,
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Perfect.
and it's Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're thinking about changing up some times, but this just seemed the best time so far. So I know
don't mind.
I have other people on the other side of the world. They're like, hey, that's like 2 o'clock for me in the morning. I'm like, well, we'll record it. 407 feet. Nice, Vicky from the UK too. I love it.
Oh, hello, Vicky.
Vicky actually showed up like 40 minutes early, but wouldn't talk to me. So it's my first time seeing Vicky respond. Glad to have you here because I'm attending to customer. No problem, Ken. We appreciate you coming. For you guys here, it's already being recorded. So we'll record it and post it on my channel, The Overnight Coder, which as well as Sam. Sam is in the group, but he's driving and doing things with family. He probably will join us. I know for sure he's probably listening. Sam Rizzi, I'll give his introduction. Normally he gives his own introduction. Sam is, from my understanding, he's the #2 guy over at ListingPro. And I mean, I've worked with Sam plenty of times on a bunch of things. Really good guy to deal with. He doesn't deal in development and coding, but he deals with all aspects of building out the project. So Sam, again, a lot of times he's here to kind of answer some of your technical ListingPro questions. To give you my introduction, I'm the Overnight Coder. A lot of you guys, and I see the group list, I know some of you guys, a lot of you guys know me. I have the Overnight Coder YouTube channel, which my first video has 30,000 views. It's raw, uncut, and uncensored. So what you see is what you get. I have a primetime video that shows, and it doesn't have a lot of views because we just made it on private, but it's how to build a ListingPro site in 2 hours, because a lot of people came up and said, oh, it's taking me months to build out my directory. You're right. It will take more than 2 hours, but I do show you how you can get it up and running with a custom homepage, logo translate in there for translations in an hour and 40 minutes. So I also have, and I'm going to share my screen. We have 2 Facebook groups. Give me just a second. 2 Facebook groups if you're not already in them. The main ListingPro group is ListingPro User Group. This group has more than 3,500 members. The reason I'm telling you this, and I'm sharing my screen for those of you guys aren't following along, the reason I'm telling you this is when you're asking questions, I'm one person, and yes, I built over 70 directories. I have no problem telling you exactly where things are at. If you want a bigger group, join the group. You got 3,500 people here that have experience with everything, whether it's SEO, maybe some are beginners, but if you have a question, somebody in here has probably tried it. So big group, it's Listing Pro users group. I actually started my own group as well. So this is the official 3,500 Listing Pro user group. I actually started my own group and it's doing really well as well. It's Listing Pro theme. It's only got about 1,100 members. But again, it's really active. So, keep in mind that, both groups are going to be great with information. Just to hone in on that, again, I'm not affiliated with them, but I find out a lot of information, even though, I built more directories than I think anybody else that I know. 70 directories with Listing Pro and custom directories as well. I find more information in these groups than not, like SEO information. People are like, hey, can we build this? Can we do that? And you get a lot of good ideas for building your website, monetizing your website, advertising your website. And it's super informational, whether you keep it in there or not. One of the big ones is when Listing Pro updates. If you're not already subscribed to their update list, we tell you. There was an issue, I want to say last year, where one of the things, it needed to be updated immediately. And nobody ever knew that. So, you don't have to have a Facebook account. You can create a dummy account if you don't want to share your business, but definitely some great information in there just to kind of look at and be like, okay, I know that I can do this. So Vicky from the comments, I have a full-time job, I bought Listing Pro, hoping to get it created my site better now with the launch of Events Pro. Events Pro is awesome. So if you guys haven't already checked out the add-ons, Events Pro that she's mentioning there is a really good system for selling event tickets, letting you get paid for those tickets. It's still Listing Pro, but it's an add-on for that. Another immediate, and again, I'm not trying to sell you guys anything, I promise. This is questions and answers. But another one I really enjoyed was Medical Pro. I heard Medical Pro, not just for doctors, but I've done a dentist. I've done just a different portfolio, a project portfolio for different people in the medical field. And those are huge. Somebody was like, well, I don't want to pay additional for the add-on. I was like, you got to be silly. If you're going to start a doctor niche where doctors can sign up from a specific niche, let's say all of Orlando, Florida, and you could do bookings and things on. I made a fortune from that. So again, awesome to have you here, Vicky. So let's jump in first to any questions and answers. I'll let you guys run this. Again, if there's any blank period in time, I told people in both groups that we would go over advertise it probably first, and then monetization after that. So let's jump into some questions and answers. Again, you guys are on mute, but feel free. This is your time. Don't you leave me hanging. Shelby, I know you got some questions. Let's go.
Okay, I didn't want to steal the show away first off the bat, but I wanted to know what everyone is seeing working as far as price points on their, like, actually getting signups.
Yeah, that makes it good. So again, I come from, and I don't want to say this too much, but I come from building 70 directories from clients. I will tell you that everybody has their own niche, and I'm going to give you some great ideas. Doctor, I just mentioned, is a high price niche, right? You can charge what you want. When you're first starting, and I'll ask you your niche here in a second, if you want to share it. If you don't want to share it, there are Listing Pro people in here, plus a lot of people will see this video. So you guys keep this in mind. I'm not asking you to share your websites if you don't want the information out there, but it's not just us 14. This video will go on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of people. Some people are hesitant to share their ideas. So keep that in mind, but I'm going to give you some examples. If I was doing a general website for all of the United States, not that I would ever do that, but think about a barber, a male barber. And we're not talking about female stylists, but a male barber. Can he afford to pay $49 to $99 a month? Realistically, yes, there are going to be some barbers that can definitely pay that. But if I'm thinking about just hey, male barber, you stop in, you get that $10 cut back in the day. They're not going to be able to afford that niche. But then I look at places like doctors, lawyers, therapy. Can they pay that? Of course, either way, whether the answer was yes or no, they have to see the value in your website. So if you're first launching, I think you started off low. once you become what you want to be, charge whatever you want, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. Netflix is a company in the United States that, you know, they will let us watch videos if you guys aren't familiar with them. Netflix started off at $9.99. Now, you know, for my house, it's 15, it's like $14.99 or $15.99 or something like that. It's so low of a cost that I forget about it. I don't, I mean, yes, my kids use Netflix. I might pull up Netflix. Matter, I'm watching Final Destination 5 on Netflix right before this meeting. You know, but it's a low price point, and as a business owner myself, I don't usually check and try to remove it, right? So it's a really good feature, and it's a low price point. I pulled up my website just because I want to show you something. I know I'm going to give you guys a little bit about my history, right? Kiteboarding, and I have a lot of experience in kiteboarding. We'll talk about this site a lot. On my screen, kiteboarding, a lesson is $300 to $500 per 3 to 5 hours. And most of my clients came back for anywhere from 3 to 10 different sessions. Think about that. That's over $3,000, and they didn't take anything home but knowledge. I mean, they got it's a lesson. Now gear starts at 2,500, right? Gear, I mean, no matter how you look at it, kiteboarding, if you haven't seen the sport, I'll pull open so you can just get a bit. This is kiteboarding. Everybody has it. It's a huge kite in the air pulled by like a wakeboard type style. Now, 300 and then multiple lessons or 2,500. I could have easily charged $49.99 a month for business owners to sign up. And that's what I wanted to start people at. But I started realizing that I have to have a value first. Once I'm at that, I charge whatever I want. So I went with $825 monthly, but you pay annually for 99 bucks. And again, 99 bucks is nothing for these guys. One sale, and they've got 3 months worth or 25 months worth. So again, I think you want to start wherever you feel comfortable. If you're doing a general, you got to think about what those people have. Like if you're doing general business owners or shop owners or restaurants, are those guys going to pay you $99? Probably not, you know, but what about $9.99 a month? And then, you know, a year down the road when you've got that traffic, go in. Anything to follow up on that? Tell me, you know, if you want to tell us a niche, I can't give you a price for your niche, but I can tell you, you know, think about the wide end of the spectrum. I have somebody charging $5 a business sign up. And I was like, dude, $5 is nothing. You know, when I look at my Stripe and I got $5 in there, I'm like, okay, well, I got a family of 6. I mean, that doesn't buy dinner, you know, $5. But if everybody in that niche signs up, now $5 adds up.
Yeah, so mine is actually, I live in like a really small town in Texas. It's like maybe like 8,000 people.
Okay.
And I think there's about like 400 local businesses. So Yelp doesn't really like, no one here signs up for Yelp or uses any kind of stuff. So it's definitely missing here in this area. So that's why I'm like, okay, if I make this like localized directory, that'll, you know, and I can just convince people to use it and how it's going to benefit them, then, you know, it shouldn't be a problem. So to decide my price points, I started out like I'm looking at the local paper, and it has like a service directory kind of in our local paper, and they charge $60 a month for people to put like a tiny little 2x5 business card in there. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, if they're paying $60 a month for that, then they should have no problem paying $30 a month for mine. So I started with that. And then I'm thinking, like you said, about like restaurant owners and stuff like that. And also listening to some marketing podcasts, and that's like an actual business model. They call it like the Hulu and Netflix model, like what you were just talking about, where it's so low that people just forget about it basically. So then that made me change it to like 15 bucks a month. So that's where I'm at currently.
I think you're onto something good. You got a good niche. It's a local town. Now, don't get that confused. Everybody that sees that business paper cannot afford that $60 a month, right? We want to say a business could definitely afford it, but they're not. They're already doing their own advertisement. But once you're that site, like, and I'm not saying don't go 60. Again, this is my personal opinion and what I see. I say go the lower amount that you mentioned and have the opportunity to upsell, right? So upselling with Listing Pro, Listing Pro actually has an advertisement spot where I can spend, you know, any amount that you set. It's under what Listing Pro theme or theme options. It's under the ads, and you can actually set, hey, do you want to show up on the homepage? Do you want to show up at the top of the search? Do you want to show up in the sidebar? And allow those people who do have the extra money, $60 a month or $3 a day, right? For 30 days, 90 bucks. Next thing you know, they're showing up at the top of the search. So Listing Pro does a great job of letting you not only take the base pay, let's say Netflix money, versus selling additional stuff, right? So I also, I have another example where, I don't know if I should pull this up now. You know what? I don't have the link. I have another example where we're doing onboarding advertisement, which is just an advertising page that says, hey, do you want to show up here? Do you want to show up on the blog post? And they would pay additional as well. You know, so I think you're definitely onto something. You have a good niche, but because you're doing all of that city in Texas, it's really hard to say, hey, $60 a month is good, because you do have restaurants, you do have a street vendor, you do have male barbershops at $10 a pop, you know, so yeah, keep it open. Now, the good thing about that is you can also create Listing Pro plans, right? You can say, hey, I have a free, so we'll talk a little bit about my free plan, because I always use a free plan so I can capture something. But then you have a $9 a month plan. And then maybe you have a, and I'm just going to jump up. I was going to say $19.99, but maybe you jump up and you say, hey, I have a $29 a month plan. And that'll allow you to separate the people who have different types of money. And still, you know, of course, you're going to offer different things in that feature. And maybe everybody will jump into that big plan. But yeah, you definitely have the opportunity there. And I love your idea. Small towns, great idea. Anything to follow up on that, Shelby, or anybody else? Listen, we got plenty of time to talk about everybody's needs. So welcome to the new members. You're on mute. Feel free to unmute yourself, talk in the chat box. But we're just doing a little bit of questions and answers right now. What can Listing Pro do? What can it not do? Anybody else? Shelby, I know you got more for me. Don't leave me hanging.
All right, I'm going to jump in again. How do you feel? How do you feel about having 2 pricing plan options versus 3? Like obviously a free and then maybe a medium tier, high tier, or do you just go with 2 every time?
No. So here's my, again, I don't, Mark, I see your hand up. We'll get you in just a sec. So here's my generalization. I'm a developer, so I don't have a problem with having 2 plans, 3 plans, 5 plans, because I can deck that page out however I want. I will tell you, if you don't have any, and I'm not speaking to just you, Shelby, this is everybody. If you don't have development styling and you pick my favorite listing layout, you know, let me pull up the site so you guys can see. Listing Pro demo. It does come, oh, you know what? This one doesn't have, somebody posted their Listing Pro website. Now is a great time to look at it. Give me just a second. It sets it up so it looks better in 3 if you pick a specific, give me just a second, I'm gonna share screen. Hopefully, Google Chrome. No, let's do this.
Yeah, I noticed if you pick 2, it gets off center. So yeah, it's better
Yeah.
for 3 layout wise.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Give me just a second. I'm going to share this screen here. So this, somebody shared their idea. This is GuyanaListing.com. Not one of my designs, but somebody actually in the group. This one is this is my preferred listing style. Just like he has it here with the 3 listings. If you only have 2, it's only going to show up on the left. And of course, there's a little bit of custom coding where you could make these centered. It's not hard. It's not, you could ask in a group, it's free. Somebody will help you out. But again, if you only have 2, it's not centered. So if you're using the default, you know, in something like this or a style like this, I say do 3, right? And that could be, in my opinion, and again, I said I get to it, I do free, I do either basic and premium, you know, which is a little bit of options and then more options. Or if you don't have that idea and you're like, well, I really only want 2 plans, you can still do it. You could do like free, monthly, and annually, and just save them some money on the 3rd plan. And again, if you have that coding experience, well, then hell, let's just be honest. If you break it down with Listing Pro, or if you're using Elementor Pro, I just create my own pricing plans, right? I could do 3, I can do 5, I can put the same features in there. And then I actually go over a method of, check this out, really cool. Right click, inspect element. That's my button. I just take this whole button and I copy the code out, right? So even on my basic, if I design something from scratch, I can literally just copy this and rip the button out of this plan. So now I can create whatever I want with Elementor. And again, this will be recorded for anybody trying to go back and be like, wait, how did you do that? I literally just ripped the button out. So that same button for this free plan would be in my new pricing plan. To give you another example, I had a guy on a custom site do something like this, right? And this is obviously built with Elementor, but when I get to his pricing plans, he wants a lot, and he has a ListingPro site. We're just redeveloping it, but he has multiple plans, right? We want 4 on the same line. He also wants a switcher that goes to yearly, and all this was just custom designed with Elementor Pro, using the switcher and then using the pieces, and then the buttons were just literally copied out. So again, I like the 3 if you're not a developer, right? If you are a developer, do as many as you want. Just style it up the way you want. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I didn't think about putting my yearly option as the 3rd one, so I'm definitely going to do that. Thanks for that idea.
I mean, it's a no coding option, right? So no coding,
Yeah.
just add your yearly there. And of course, what happens is if you guys aren't permission, I know some of you guys are really good with sales, but I've been in sales all my life. And even when I go, we got a Beef O'Brady's, like a chicken and wing burger place around they started doing online sales, right? So when you get there, you tap your card, they pull up a tablet, and at the very bottom, it says, hey, how much did you want to tip your server? And of course, the first option is predefined, maybe it's 10%. The second option is 15%. Third option is like 19%, or you can go custom. You know, in sales, a lot of people get pushed to that middle option, right? I don't want to be like the lowest person, but I definitely don't want to tip like the highest amount. So in sales, we're always pushing people to that middle option. So a lot of my sales will come whatever's in the middle. Like they don't want to go free. They can see the benefit. And I'm not saying 100% that's what it is, but even with kiteboarding as an instructor, I made a lot of money in tips, and that was passing them the iPad and being like, hey, this part's for you. They tap, they do their card, and then a lot of people would pick that middle option. So set yourself up for success, but don't overcharge your niche is what we're saying. Welcome to the group, all you new members. We're doing question and answers, but of course we'll get to the monetizing advertisement soon. You guys are on mute. Pretty repetitive here, but take yourself off mute. We're just asking questions, and Shelby's leading the way, and I know she's got more questions if you guys don't. Are these Saturday sessions recorded? If so, where? You know what? I'd love to tell you that yes, you're recorded. In this group, I've hit the record button. Just going to check. Yeah, it's definitely recorded. These are on the Overnight Coder channel. But I hate telling people that, because honestly, if I tell you it's recorded, there's no reason to show up, right? I mean, unless you have personal questions. I'm pulling up on my screen right now where I've been posting these. The Overnight Coder on YouTube. Again, I'm not affiliated with them. Well, let's mute that. But if you just go to videos, I actually have the playlist of all the, or you can go under playlist. I have the ListingPro webinars, which
what would web design look
like? Not right.
We
Sorry,
have a single
wait.
continuum time.
Oh my God.
Steal from the.
No. But yeah, they're definitely under the ListingPro webinars. I actually have a few from the past weeks with questions and answers. So it's best you just show up and ask your own questions and answers, right? Or if you're driving in the car, you can listen to this 2-hour session with other people's. Before that, I did a bunch of Zoom meetings that were, 23 people, 15 people as well. And they're in there as well. Keep in mind, my channel has got a lot of useful ListingPro content. I mean, I've got this video, 29,000 views. I know we're going to be talking about it, but making money with your business listing, 5,000 views, frequently asked questions. This is actually a gold video, but nobody watches it because they think it's just frequently asked questions. If you guys are not developers, this is basic styling with CSS. Again, I think quote me, it starts at like 33 minutes, but it shows you how to CSS style even if you don't know anything about CSS, but only with ListingPro stuff. So what do you need to do with ListingPro stuff, right? Some of it's like recoloring, not showing. And a lot of people in the groups ask questions like, hey, how can I remove this? If they were to watch this video, it's priceless. I don't teach you how to be a coder. I'm just gonna show you how to remove things on ListingPro that you don't need. Sorry, Mark, I'm getting to your question now. Did you had a question? I see your hand is raised.
Oh, yes, Tim. I have a couple of questions, but first of all, hello to everybody. And thank you very much, Tim, for your answer, because I just asked a question the other day on the Facebook group. My question is, I'm struggling with the following now. Let me put it in this way. We have a customer, consumer, who wants to go to a listing somewhere to find like a company. And then we have like a company listed in one directory website. So for me, like, if I want to book a hotel, I want to go like for booking.com. I want to see like all hotels in this area. Then I will decide to buy or to do something. So when I start my directory website, I need like all the company has to be in this directory. Yeah, because all the customers, when they browse my directory website, they will get satisfied. Like, okay, in this directory, we can find all our companies. They don't go to another like Google search or Google My Business or other things. So how can we solve this problem? I really don't know. Because as I understand, successful directory website has to get like heavy traffic. I need the heavy traffic. And I can't reach heavy traffic if I don't have all companies listed. Then my visitors will get satisfied. They can see like all companies, not like, 10 companies, 3 companies. What I did, I just chose one business. I don't have like restaurants, golfs, these things. No, I live in Sweden, so I just chose like only one business. So I'm very, very niched in one. There are 700 companies in all of Sweden, and there is only one directory website in Sweden for this niche.
Okay.
How
Mark,
can I solve this problem? I really don't know.
so Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you for joining the group. But it sounds like you don't want, when somebody comes to your directory, you don't want just a few directories to pop up. So when you're starting a website, when we start, especially when I build a site, I only have the dummy content, right? There's only dummy, so I delete all that before I launch. We need to start with some type of database, and to do that, ListingPro in your downloads included a program called, and they tell you in the documentation that you will need WP All Import as well as their little plugin for WP All Import. And what that allows you to do is import listings in your niche. So let's just say hotels, because that's what you mentioned, right? Mine is a different niche. Everybody else in here probably has a different niche as well. But I recommend that you import listings that are hotels into your database. Now let's talk about that. So I'm going to jump over to mine. I'm going to do shops and schools. I have about 6,000 shops and schools in this directory. I'm going to widen up the screen just a little bit. Now, when I imported these, you can see I have 242 pages. When I imported these, I don't put all the information, right? When I scrape listings, and we'll talk about that in 2 seconds, first, you need a list that you can import in here. Now hear me out. If you're on PC, which my wife has a PC, it was a program called BotSoul, which I'm just going to pull up. It was a Google map crawler that crawled or listed all the listings that I depicted. So I put hotels, I put Orlando, Florida, and it would scrape a CSV file, just a document with all those listings and the data that I wanted. And that was for PC. For Mac, which is what I use Scrapestorm. I'm just going to pull this up so everybody has the links. And I use this one for a Mac. Now, I'll be really honest. I didn't pay for either one of these programs. I was limited to how many I could get per day, but I just wanted to test them out. So I think this one either did 50 or 100 per day. I had to grab a YouTube tutorial just on how to use it, but of course they come with documentation as well. And I scraped these CSV files that I could start my company with. And again, per day, I had to do it, you know, for the whole month. And finally, I had 5,000 listings or whatever the case may be. Same thing with BotSoul. BotSoul was like, it looks like you have to pay for it, but they have a free trial that allows you to get unlimited data, but only, I want to say 200 per day, right? So I started with those. And that's how I would start my directory, with listings that I already predefined. Now, getting into scraping, I don't provide all the information. I might do name, business title, location, so my map looks good, maybe phone number, website, maybe one image, maybe not. And I left it at that because I didn't want it to be completed. I wanted the company to look at that and claim that listing, you know, so they can go in, they can claim that listing and put their own stuff in, right? If I had the business hours wrong, I want you to claim it. If you do everything, excuse me, I told you I had a cold, so sorry. If you do everything, why do they even need to sign up, right? So that's how I started mine. I scraped all the listings, and then from my Facebook page, I messaged them and I was like, oh, you got a listing here. Here it is. You can claim it for free. Now let's get into that, because I told you guys I'd cover my plans. I do always do a free pricing plan, right? 70 designs. I do a free pricing plan just because if I come to your business, right, and it's $1 million business, and I show up, but I'm not ready to pay today, I feel like the free plan is somewhere where you can at least capture some information, right? You can capture the owner email, you can capture, and then you can upsell them later. So I'm always doing a free plan. So that's why when I mentioned, oh yeah, you can sign up for free and here's your link. Meanwhile, when they get to the claim, you actually have your other business plans in there. Now I told you about scrape, sort, and BotSoul. I actually got real lazy on it. I don't want to say lazy, but I figured out on Fiverr for $5, I can get 500 business listings. I've actually got some guys that I work with and they have deals. I just paid $100 for 30,000 business listings. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. So it's easier for me than to use my computer resources just to go over to Fiverr and say, hey, business listing scraping, you know, or what is it? Google My Business, Google, it's going to have me log in. But Google My Business scraping and just type in your search here. You'll find a lot of people at your price range. And for $5 or $10, you can have, you said 700 businesses, you can have 500 businesses for $5. Like I'd pay that, and then I'd use that WP All Import tool to import those business listings. And I started off there. And then as the advertising side of me, I'd then contact those businesses and be like, hey, look, you got something right here. Let's do it. Right. They're free. You can pay, you do whatever. Another example of that, and I'll get into that when I'm doing advertising, but another example is being able to start your database with something. Again, I'm so sorry. Starting off with that scraping, you skip the other example, but yeah, I think that definitely covers your question. Like you definitely want to start, you can't start a site off with 20 listings and you're like, hey, this is a professional business, sign up. Right? Nobody, if I look at 20 listings on a site, I know you're new. So if you're not doing like a beta release, or, you know, if I don't see profit in adding my business to 20 others, I'm not going to do it. So definitely start off by either scraping on your own for free, or paying 5, 10, 15, 20, $50 to start off your directory. I have a guy in the wedding industry. He's not going to scrape. But now when I found this guy, he can post on his personal Facebook about a wedding DJ and get 70 comments on his personal Facebook. Not all, I can't do that, right? Not all of us can do that. But this guy, he's going to do a beta soft launch and let people sign up. I feel like he's going to have no problem getting businesses to sign up if there's no businesses on his website. But again, all of us can't do that. Let's just be honest, right? I can't do that. So hopefully that answers your question, Mark. We're here for plenty more questions. Meanwhile, in the chat, how do I put the English and publish buttons and not on the footer of the page? Well, I get that a lot. So what he's saying is when you get to a, let's just see if we can duplicate it, right? So if I'm here, I had a listing, and again, this is just the default. Oh no. All right, let's go to Guyana. You are my test. Actually, let's go to demo. .ListingPro I don't think this is it either. Shoot. I did not come prepared. Where was that? Guyana, I'm gonna use yours as the example. Sam's gonna kill me later. I should have had one. So sorry, guys. Let's just use his site as the example, just to give you a preview. Also give him some extra exposure. If I were to add my listing, what he's saying is that pay and publish button is on the bottom, right? So it's really, your site is loading a little bit slow too, just to give you some free resources. And if it doesn't load soon, we're going to skip. Oh, here it is. So we're just going to add testing listing. Again, don't approve this, my friend. We need a category, no problem. It's going to ask me for an email. Let's do overnight coder and save and preview. Right. So here is my test listing on somebody else's website. And hey, it's successful. And unfortunately, you're briefly down. So what normally happens, guys, not sure why that happened. He'll definitely want to check that out. The next page has the buttons down here. And some people have said, well, it's not really in your face. You don't know what you're going to do. So it shows me my listing on the next page and the buttons are really down here. So if you're paying attention to my styling and CSS video, you can change that button color, my most popular, change that button color to a bright red. Right, that would be like the #1 thing that I can just do. There is some custom coding and styling. And if you contact me out of here, or if you ask in the Facebook group, I will post it for free. I don't want to get into it now because I actually have to pull up a site that does it. But I was able to pull that button and everything to the top of the page. And it's just using absolute CSS styling. So again, for developers, they're going to know this. We just changed the styling in there to make it to the top of the page. It's not really, like, I haven't really noticed on my personal site that that's a problem, but you're right, because it's at the bottom of the page and it's like a light blue and I think a gray next to it. It's almost not as visible as you would want, right? But the pay and publish, yes, you could instantly turn it into a bright red. That's the easy one. Feel free. We've got another example, Shelby. Thank you so much. Let's pull it open. I'll give you guys the perfect example. Meanwhile, yes, those buttons are hard to see where you've gotten stuck on that page, and because it's hidden in the bottom right-hand corner, especially, oh, nice. Especially for those users who have like Shelby has this pop-up here. Sometimes this pop-up, especially like the except for, what is it, cookies, I've seen that completely cover it. But let's see what hers does, right? So here's another example. We're just going to add the listing. We have her permission. We're going to click continue. I really like the color scheme here. We're just going to do test listing. Don't approve it. We're going to pick a category, see if anything else. And then it says contact email. Username is, let's do T Digital. Nobody has that, hopefully. Save and preview. And all right, so her pop-up doesn't hide it, but this is what they're referring to. So this button here, yes, I already know, like, hey, please proceed to make it published. I know I need to click here, but some users aren't seeing that, right? So let's just click into it. We're going to inspect the code. I'll teach you this in the styling video. This is the color code. I'm going to switch it to a bright red. And again, I'm not editing her site. We're just doing custom CSS. What I would do is I would take this CSS right here, copy it, and paste it into my appearance customized CSS. Now, technically, I don't need these lines here. I just need this line, but it's just an easy way for me to go here. I'll show you what I do. I'm going to post it in the chat box here, but I'm going to remove those lines. So give me just a second. We're going to increase the chat box. Maybe. Okay, maybe I can't. So we're just going to do it like this. I'll give you guys an example. And that's why that CSS video is super cool, because I teach you guys how to do stuff just like that. So now in the chat, whoops, so I'm so sorry. That was a direct message to Mark. Let me stop that, do everyone. Let me paste it again. So here's my code, and you guys can get it in the chat box. That's how to change the color. Again, you'll post that in appearance, the customized CSS. That will literally change your color to that red. And of course, you can change to whatever hex code you want. But that makes it, let's just take a look. It makes it a little bit more visible, right? You can clearly see that bright red, which doesn't go with the color scheme. And again, there is a code that I've had to do for a couple clients. They just want it pulled up to the top of the page. I don't know which method I prefer, but again, I like that, right? And hopefully everybody can see the chat box in Zoom where I posted that. Mark, was that? Thank you. And thanks for letting us use your design. I really like it. If you ever want to talk about, what we think we could improve on it, again, I'll give you non-chargeable feedback just from a developer standpoint, but I really like what you've done here so far. Any other questions and answers? And hopefully, Mark, I've explained a little bit of the, the stuff that you ask as well.
Yes, thank you, Tim. You did. Thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
Questions and answers. Anybody else? Or feel free, anybody just jump right in.
Yeah, I just wanted to go a little bit off of more what Mark was saying, because I had the same dilemma. It's kind of like you have to figure out where the fine line is between providing enough value on your free listing where you can still get the traffic and people, it's still helpful to people, but also you don't want to take away that incentive that you've provided so much that company doesn't feel the need to actually claim their listing and add their own stuff. So I haven't figured out exactly where that fine line is, but yeah, that would definitely help.
Do it, Shelby. Do it with your plans first. If you schedule your plans in a method that show you, like if I go to your plans, you have a big jump from me needing to list. So this already visually, I haven't even read them. Visually, this looks like I'd pay 15 bucks, right? And I don't even do the lead form. Let me tell you why. The lead form on a free listing. So nobody, they didn't pay you any money, or you scrape the listings, or they signed up for free. The lead form, I actually, and this is one of the ways to make money. I'll give you an example. So this is a two-part example. First off, I didn't know if scraping listings was going to give me any value, because I come from a place where if you scrape content on Google, you're just duplicating content. It shouldn't give you any value. And I thought that forever. Then one of my clients 2 years ago, he scraped 72,000 listings. And he's like, Tim, I want you to import these. I've seen so many traffic hits from him, 72,000 lawyers on his website. It was incredible. He was showing up everywhere and getting 20,000 views a month instantly on launch day. So I took a look at that and I was like, all right, I like that idea. You are getting the value there, but they were all free listings. Nobody had claimed anything. And when I talked to him, I was like, hey, are you doing anything to reach out to these people? He's like, no, for what? And when I talked to him, what he was doing was, if he scraped the listing or the listing was free, it still had a lead form on it, right? It still had that, hey, contact us form. But what he was doing was, when he got that contact form, because he was the owner of the listing, because the lead form, technically he scraped his listing. So in that example, he was the owner of 72,000 listings. So he would take that lead form, literally contact the company and be like, hey, look, man, this company just contacted you guys. Why don't you sign up? Here's the lead, and again, doctor, lawyer, or it was his lawyer, attorney. It's a big lead, right? If you sign up a client, it's a big fee. So he was taking that, using it to let the user or the business owner claim their listing. Now, if he never got a response, he would turn around and Google 3 different people from that location who service that type of attorney or lawyer and approach them and be like, hey, here's the lead. Why don't you guys sign up? Matter of fact, he actually turned around and sold that lead for $40 a pop to 3 different businesses, but that's not for everybody. Somebody like Shelby, she doesn't want to turn it into like a lead magnet where she's selling everybody's business leads, because she's small and niche. She doesn't want to give that reputation that, look, we're just going to sell your lead to other people. But she could definitely contact somebody in that industry and be like, hey, why don't you sign up? I'm getting leads for your type of business already. And that's why I kind of utilize it. And I think it's a great idea, in both aspects. Trustwell, at claim listing on mobile web browser, ahead of pop-up fill, users can't see the fill-in details at the top. I'm not sure what you're saying, Trustwell. Is it maybe something on your third-party installation? On mobile, the header is covering up the pop-up fill-in, users can't. I'm not sure. I apologize. If you want to give me a direct look, I can look it up on mobile, Trustwell. I think that it sounds like something has the wrong Z index. Z index is, hey, this should show up above this. It's like a header. A header usually has a Z index, right? If you're scrolling down the page, the header should always be on the top. A pop-up should have a higher Z index than everything else. So if you need me to take a personalized look, or you want to refrain a little bit, or give me a little bit more details in chat or in text, I can help you out with that. I mean, that's what we're here for. Again, if you want to reach me after the session, I'll take a look at your personalized site, or you can message me directly, and we can take a look as well. I'm just not, I don't get that on most of my installs. So maybe it can be something you sent one to my inbox in Messenger. Is that Facebook Messenger, or just so I know? And I'll put it in my notes. Oh, perfect. You got me on Facebook. I like it. I didn't see anything, but I'll double check. Any other questions? Trustwell, if I don't get back to you, blow me up. I'll definitely, I actually don't even, are you Wanzi? Yeah, Wanzi Thoma. I got you. Yeah, I'll respond to that as soon as I get a sec, man. No problem. And I'll take a look. If you want to give me a, yeah. You're actually, so now that I look at it, you're actually using some, what? That's not the name you normally join in on. I know the site. But again, to save time, because nobody else knows what we're talking about, I'll take a look. You are using some third-party plugins. I can already see that just from your screenshot. So maybe we just have to take a look at those as well. Oh, shit. I guess I'm sharing my screen so everybody knows your problem now. Sorry about that. Yeah. Any other questions? Let's go, guys. We got plenty of time to do this, you know? I know you guys got questions. I actually need 2 seconds. You guys give me count to 60. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta grab. All right, so here's my question to you guys. How many of you guys have kids? You speak up in the chat. You can put it in the chat box. You guys got kids? Finally sent my daughters back to school. I have 4 kids, but 2 of them are in school. Let me tell you, we all know if you got kids, school is like the petri dish of sicknesses. So unfortunately, 2 of my daughters came home sick. And for those of you with kids, you already know what happened. Everybody in the house gets sick. Fortunately, it's not COVID, but you know, I'm just, oh. So if anybody wants to buy some children, again, if you just want to rent them out for the weekend, I got you covered. Just message me after the meeting. With that being said, Art, yes, Art has kids. Shelby, you sound like you got some kids. Tell me you got some kids. Claire has kids. They might just be in the form of horses, but I know she's definitely the horse and the horse person over here.
Yep, sorry, it took me so long to answer. I was currently helping my 9-year-old connect the mouse to his computer. So yeah, I got a 9-year-old and an 18-month-old here. So luckily I have a full-time job I get to go to every day where I can work on my ListingPro directory, or I'd never get anything done.
Love it. Claire, tell us about your babies in the form of fur or in the form of no. Claire left us. She went out to feed the horses. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. I've had Millie. I know Millie from chat as well. Millie, you haven't said anything. You're on mute. If you need anything, any other questions? If not, I'm going to jump into a little bit of monetization and advertisement to help you guys out. Your connection is definitely breaking up.
I was driving.
Claire, I'm so sorry. It's
Sorry,
breaking up a lot.
Tim, I was driving. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So any other questions? Listen, so this is really a questions and answers. So if you guys have questions and answers, think about them, type them in the chat, raise your hand, do whatever you got to do in the chat. I'm going to go a little bit into, just to fill this up, because I promised everybody, advertising and monetization. I have a lot of experience in this. I already told you guys who I am, what I do. Most of my clients, if you can't monetize a directory, I don't want to say this, like if you can't monetize a directory or you can't do what you want to do with the directory, whether it's not monetization, you just want to help, you're in the wrong field. I've seen a lot of directories. Now, this is some really bad, listen up. I've seen a really lot of people, and I'm not even going to say directories. I've seen a lot of people build websites, never make any money from them. The key here is you have to put something into it. I put 30 minutes every day in the morning or at night into my directory. Whether it's, I might not even touch the directory. I might be just idealing new designs. If you don't have that time, you can, here's my favorite quote. You can build $1 million website. And if you don't do anything with it, you got no traffic, you got $1 million brick. So some people say, hey, can the directory make money? A directory is one of your easiest. I used to build a lot of different types of sites. Directory is the easiest way to make money because the SEO value is already there. You know, if you pick the right niche and you're picking, you can type it, go to Google, type in kiteboarding directory. I promise you my site pulls up first. You know, it's just what it is. I've got about 200, 300 other search terms as you can type in on Google and my site pops up. And that's what you want. It's not, so let's talk about advertising. How can you advertise? So back in the day, it was really easy just to pay somebody some money and get some advertising. I told you I got 4 kids and a wife, right? She spends more than most people spend on Amazon than people spend for food. So I'll tell you right now, 2021, 2022, so many free ways you can advertise online. And I'm going to share a lot of those with you. Of course, I have videos on this, so you can go more in depth and you can see this there. But let's talk about some, and I want your guys' input as well. So advertising right now, big one for me, right? If you look at my, I'm not going to share it, but if you look at my, or you happen to know my personal Facebook, I don't post on my personal face. I posted when I got hit on my sports bike. I posted when my kids went back to school. I probably don't have a post there in a few months. I'm not really a Facebook person per se for my personal profile, but I started a Facebook business page real quick. And I started even before I launched to start posting things just weekly so people are entertained. I also invited all my friends and family, which happen to be kiteboarders, to my kiteboarding niche. After that, you know, it's Facebook. It's free advertisement. Now, I'm not saying you have to go with Facebook. Go with something you're comfortable with, right? If I'm a doctor or a lawyer, I'm not going with TikTok because I know a lot of doctors just aren't on TikTok. For my personal, I want to go with something that like wedding. Wedding is Instagram and Facebook, maybe even Twitter. But because weddings have so many beautiful pictures, they're focused on that. But go with what you know. And we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Don't try to do them all. Try to focus on, you know, unless you're just good at monetizing your time to post on all of them weekly, but go with what you're good at. You know, so start with that. Advertising on social media is instant, right? So somebody can see this and instantly go to your site. What are some other instant methods? Well, some of you guys know my video. That was pretty instant, right? You're here today. You joined my Facebook group. That's instant. I posted out a video and 30,000 different people watched it. I also join all the community. I'm actually going to show you this one. I join all the communities that cover my brand. And by that, I mean, check this out. So again, I wrote a kiteboarding directory. So I'm going to open a few of these just so you can see something. I hope we find it, because if we don't find it, I'm going to look silly. But let's just take a look at these different Facebook groups, right? So if I'm in this Facebook group, and I won't spend too much time. Oh, perfect. Recommendation for school and time of year learn. I live in Tampa, Florida, and want to stay close to home. So because I'm in this directory, this is 3 hours ago. This guy's looking for schools and shops where he can learn kiteboarding in Tampa. All I have to do is pull up a directory search for Tampa and post that link in here. Now, not only has he got 10 comments and a bunch of people viewing, because this group has 4,500 members, but I'm not being spammy, right? I just posted a link where he can see all the Tampa schools. That's an easy, so I joined all these groups, right? And I don't pay, hey, here's my website. sign up today or take a look at what I got. I look for things like that. Where can I go for this? And you'll find this nonstop in my niche, right? And I opened up 3 groups. I'm not going to go through the 3 groups, but I promise you, these are in here daily. Like, where can I go in March? Where can I go that's strong winds in, here in Miami and in Brazil? And I get so much traffic just by posting. Again, we're not going to look at all this, but by posting in a non-spammy way. Oh, here's 7 places in Brazil, and send them that detailed list, that archive page that I've already copied and pasted to where they can go. And I get a bunch of traffic from that. And those are instant, right? So Facebook groups, forums. Forums is another one. Don't get booted out of your favorite forum. So I can find kiteboarding forums and I can sign up. But again, I'm not like, hey, here's my directory, check it out. I'll put it in my signature, right? In my signature, or hey, here, oh, we just stopped at Live in Town. This is the place I stopped at. I found it here. And I make it non-spammy to where it looks like I'm not the business owner anymore. I've seen this, and this is great information. I get a bunch of traffic from that. Millie in the chat brought up the next one I want to talk about. How can I optimize for SEO in my directory? For now, only the homepage is showing on Google, and I'm using Yoast, the free version. Nothing wrong with Yoast or Rank Math free versions. I'm sure there's other programs out there. But what you want to do, Millie, and this is key, is get a list of keywords that is going to be beneficial to you. I'm going to give you an example. Not a lot of people know this, but you need to find keywords that are going to be easy and they're going to be profitable, easy to rank on, and profitable as in there's a lot of search terms. So there's a bunch of websites that do that, right? I'm actually really biased because I had a kiteboarding. The guy who owns SpyFu came to take kiteboarding lessons, and he gave me free login for life. So I use SpyFu, but there's a bunch of programs like what I'm going to pull up. Ahref. Ahrefs is here. I'm just pulling them up so you guys have seen them, and they're in the logs. Ahrefs is here. Another one is SEMrush. But any keyword tool, oops, that was a spy an hack for SpyFu. That's pretty strategic. But any one of these will tell you keywords, what the traffic is, and then will also tell you, what I like to do is I like to jump in and grab my competition keywords. So like if there were any competitors, like when I first started, which they're not competitors anymore, because I'm doing way better. But I would look at their keywords and see what I could steal from them. Now, if I didn't do that, most of these programs have keyword research tool, meaning you put in a keyword, but it's going to tell you some other keywords that are beneficial. Here's the important thing you can take from that. The word web design, right? I'm a web designer. Could I ever rank on page word for web design? Now, you guys, we have a lot of people who might know a lot about SEO. And even though I do too, I'm not going to rank for the word web design or web designer. Let's just be honest. I could create 150 pages tomorrow and use that keyword. I don't think I'm going to rank on page 1 for web designer. I don't think it's in my capable niche of people paying money and doing SEO for 30 years before me. But what about Orlando web design or Cocoa Beach web design? I could rank for those today if I wanted. And that's what you're looking for. Longer tail keywords that you can rank for today. Now in my site, you're right. I did my keyword research and it said not just kiteboarding, but Cape Hatteras kiteboarding, which is a location in Cape Hatteras, is what my brain just farted. I think it's North Carolina. But where can I put that? Because it doesn't fall on my homepage. I don't want to talk about Cape Hatteras kiteboarding on my homepage. That doesn't make sense. But a blog post, promise you, I got a blog post about Cape Hatteras kiteboarding. And when you find those keywords that Google is going to recommend, that your tool is going to recommend, that's where you'll get your value of finding the best keywords and then where to utilize them, right? Here's my Cape Hatteras kiteboarding keywords, which again, SEO, your tools are going to tell you, how to do that. Place it in the title, make sure you have images. So the SEO is a big one, and that's not short-term like social, that's long-term. And that's where I get a lot of my traffic is long-term traffic from SEO. Super big. Yeah, submit your sitemap to Google, of course, Eugene. That'll help you out with just the sitemap, but for the keywords in general, especially SEO, I do, and here's just a trick that I'm doing. I have a keyword list every month, right, from my kiteboarding directory. And I take down the basic general keywords like kite surfing lessons, kiteboarding lessons. Those are longer term because I know I'm not going to show up on day one. But then I have a long term like Cape Hatteras kiteboarding, Brazil kiteboarding, or Brazil and West Beach kiteboarding, getting a little bit longer. And I try to utilize those everywhere. So my short-term keywords I'm utilizing, in blog posts. My long-term keywords, because I help my users refine their listing. I'll make sure that if I'm touching somebody's listing or if I'm doing a free listing, oh, it definitely has the word kiteboarding lessons in it, and I start utilizing those short-term keywords as well. So utilize those wherever you can. And we talked a little bit about that. On YouTube, I do YouTube, right? I've got some of those views. I'll actually go to somebody else's page and comment on their stuff, right? Oh, I love that. I actually used that in my last video. And I'll post that just feeding off some of their traffic to get into my traffic. But again, there's so many methods of advertising. Yeah, you could pay for ads. I don't recommend it, but whatever. If you got the money, you can target people, say, hey, everybody in Florida and Orlando, I want them to see that I do web design. And yes, you can target. But again, I like to spend no money to make money. And then once I'm making money, I might spend something. One of the other ways, last couple of weeks ago, we had somebody doing paper advertising. I didn't think that was a thing anymore. He was like, oh, digital flyers. And I thought to myself as a techie, I don't read any digital flyers. Like, let's be honest. But then I thought when I travel, I do. How many of you guys went into those hotels or those suites and Airbnbs and that whole thing at the counter is full of flyers, and I'm looking for things to do for my family? Or some of us still do yellow pages. I don't, but some of us still do have, paper infographics, and that could definitely, billboards. You got big money, spend big money, right? Billboards is huge. What other methods of advertising do you guys know about? Are you guys using? Do you have questions about? Okay. No questions on advertise. I got a million ways you guys can advertise. So again, hit me up. I think a lot of it depends on your niche, right? Ken, perfect. You have a friend. That's what it starts with, right? With online radio station. For maybe post his online radio station at every sidebar you have and see if he can shout you out. It's those, and it's a free. I'm not saying he's going to do it for free, but he might. And especially if he's getting something out of it, like, his radio station, how you dial in your sidebar. So utilize that. Nice. 3 clients, grow off that, grow from that. There's something I didn't realize was subscriptions. I thought that sucked, like $9.99. Like, why would I want? Like, I take clients, I take payment up front, $2,500, $500, $900, whatever. I started looking at my subscription-based clients. I made a lot of money month to month with subscription-based clients. And that's when I realized the directory is the way to go. Now I think I have 149 paid subscribers on my directory at $99 a year, or $825 monthly, or even higher. And then I also run the hosting and the website maintenance. That's crazy as well. So it's your first 1 or 2 subscriptions, you're like, oh, I mean, it's $27. After you start getting those monthly subscriptions, it's residual. You just quit your job. So we've got a little bit more time left, guys. I'll stick around for as long as you guys want to stick around. Technically 19 more minutes, just for the hour and a half. Again, we've been known to stay for 2 hours, so I don't want to limit you. Yeah, but divided by 2 of you guys should be doing the work, Ken. So instead of 3, you should have 6. Reach out to those businesses you already have on your website. Be like, hey, you got a listing here. If you have a free plan, be like, oh, you can claim it. Here's your listing. Click the claim button. It's free. When they get to that claim page, who cares if they claim it for free and you get their admin email, or even better, they sign up, right? But keep doing that legwork. When I started my ListingPro Facebook group, you know how many I had 4 members. I kept posting, I was doing the questions, I was doing the answers, right? And now I have what, 1,600 members. I don't even have to answer anything. I got 1,600 other people that will answer your questions. So again, it comes with time and builds quick. I promise you, man. But just keep pushing, I got a guy in the Bahamas, and again, if you live that island life or you have a port to call for, cruise boats that are just now starting back up, you can have somebody in the street running flyers all day for $9. Third world, you can't do that in the US, but you guys see what I'm saying? Like, and especially you can have them do it for free on the actual flyer, and it could be a paper printout. Put a coupon code, like let's just call it Tim 405. Not that I would ever use that as a coupon code, but then pay that user based on subscribers. So how many ever coupon codes you got, give him 50% of that listing. So now that person has incentive to go out and run those streets. And that doesn't work. Like, again, in the US, that doesn't really work. We actually do have flyer, like if you're going to like Orlando and you're walking the strip, yeah, people are passing out flyers, right, for clubs and entry. And so I guess it does work, but it doesn't work for everyone, right? And it's not like you're paying out of pocket. You're paying on a commission basis where you're just tracking coupon codes, which ListingPro does. So keep those in mind. Any other questions about, just advertisement? I'll jump into monetization here. And again, we're here for any questions and answers that you may have. It doesn't have to be in those two topics. Anybody have any questions? Shelby, come on, don't let me down. You've been the star of my show.
Nope, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to know if anyone has used this strategy to get signups. So my husband has an actual like brick and mortar business where we live. And when he was first getting started, I listed him on like Google My Business, Yelp, Yellow Pages, all that free stuff. And I noticed that they do this like this little trick where when you sign up, you make your free thing, then they'll have someone call you and say, yeah, we just wanted to verify your information that you put on here. So like, are these your business hours? And they just ask you general information on the stuff that you just submitted. And then when you verify all that, then they're like, oh, and while I have you here, I'd like to upgrade you to our premium plan, or have you thought about signing up for this? And they just try to upsell you. And I wanted to know if anyone's tried that with their directory.
I'll let anybody else go. Anybody else try that with the directory? I have. But anybody else try that? Cold calling or calling somebody who has already submitted. I call that, it looks like Ken has, I call that the follow-up, right? Anytime you have, and again, that's why I do the free listing. I just need you to sign up. I need some type of information where I can reach out to you. Otherwise, you're just a Google Analytics statistic to me. One person viewed your website. So yes, if you sign up to the website, if I have time, I would love to call, especially when I'm starting up, I'll call every business on there. Like, hey, we're just verifying what you already submitted. Matter of fact, I'll call websites that I scraped and be like, hey, I got your business in here. Just want to show you the link. Is all this information correct? By the way, claim it, right? So yeah, that's a great example of how you reach out and just take charge. Again, it's a manual example. So if you have the time, do it. Definitely do it. Mark, you got a raised hand. What let us hear it. What else you got?
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the same question now, or what you have been talking about. My plan is in the future just to contact all my customers, or those, the companies. The thing is, how can I convince someone to tell them directory website or listing website is really good, exactly, or could be much better than Google My Business? I need help in this issue. How can I convince someone? If you sign up, it's good for you, because they might tell me, hi, if I just type this on Google, then they will go to Google My Business, because Sweden is a small country. It's a big country like United States or like UK. So you can find all those businesses on Google My Business. Do you have some good arguments, something that I can use? Thank you.
Yeah. When you're niching down, and I can speak for a lot of different topics, but when you're niching down something, and I'm going to give you my example, right? My example is kiteboarding. Your example is hotels. When you come to my website, I know that these businesses are on Google. I offer more on my webpage for a targeted If you want to plan a vacation and you want kiteboarding, oh, you can pick wherever you want to go. You can pick Brazil. This is going to be the go-to. Now, if I don't know about the website, yeah, I could just Google, hey, where can I take lessons in Brazil for kiteboarding? But once you know the website is directed, my viewers, not just my business owners, my viewers are looking for kiteboarding related information, or they're looking for, in your case, hotels or suites or people that offer, and here's another one, offer more information that Google just isn't offering. Like right now, we're going through the COVID stuff, right? COVID friendly. Does Google have that? Some people have marked themselves as COVID safe, but do people really have that? Wheelchair accessible. Do people have that feature? You don't see that on Google. Yes, I can still Google your location and find a business, but when people come to my website, and this is how I offer it to my business clients or my business owners, I have traffic that is already looking for kiteboarding. This isn't Google. You're not looking for, what does Google offer? Google offers everything. When you come to my website, you are looking specific, you are a kiteboard visitor. And that's how I get my businesses. I've got 20,000 to 30,000 visitors a month that are looking for kiteboarding related things. Why wouldn't you sign up? Right? Google doesn't do that. Google's like, hey, we got everything here. Kind of look what you want. And again, if you're trying to do an open niche, I don't have the solution for that. But in your case, Mark, hotels, suites, Airbnb, whatever the case may be, accommodations, you're that accommodation website for your location. Yeah. And then offer more than that, right? And I'll give you, this is a great idea for everybody. I'm going to share my screen. I'll keep my story short, but I actually had an investor who wanted to pay me $5,000 to stop what I was doing and just focus on, I don't have a lot of time to work on my own website. I told you 30 minutes a day. I should, it's good. I don't have everything I want on there. With that being, because I'm a web designer. With that being said, I offer a lot more than just your local shops and schools. Yes, inside of shops and schools, I have more than Google will ever give you, right? So in shops and schools, actually, this is a bad example. Riding locations, this is a freebie. You don't pay any money to submit a riding location. And let me show you. So in a riding location, if you wanted to ride, and if you have any sport that you do, but you want to ride in Cocoa Beach and you're looking at this location, which is the 520 Slick. Again, this was a free submission. Somebody just submitted this. It's kind of like a blog post. It tells you all the information that you ever want to know. Like, hey, when is it windy? What's the best wind direction? Is there restrooms? Is there showers? What is the water like? Is it flat, shallow, wavy? Do you have, what's the downfalls? Do I need a wetsuit? Where's the closest airport? Google doesn't offer anything like this. And again, this is just a free version of my website that allows additional information. Why would people come back and use my website? Well, there's many reasons. First, if I want to plan a vacation and I want to go to North America, I want to find out where I can go. What about riding locations around the world? If I want to find a specific genre, but I'm bringing my kids, I definitely need showers. So where you guys can utilize this is blog posts, right? Why would people come back? You have that information that people need, not just as a one-off on Google, but why would you come back to my website? And if you can offer those as well, you'll get a lot more traffic. Of course, I told you that guy that scraped 72,000 listings, he's got plenty of traffic. And he is the go-to, I'm going to tell you his niche. He's in Norway, which is just a small strip of location, almost like a beach. And he's the go-to Norway site for reviews now. But because he picked a great niche and it was localized, and he's that go-to if you want to find out information just on that. So I think, yeah, you can definitely, you're better than Google because you're not everything. You're not, this isn't, hey, just search for. Now, here's a better example. The guy from the Bahamas I told you guys about, he actually has, your listing could look way better than your website. And when I say that, a lot of people in the Bahamas, it's not that they don't have money, but a lot of people in the Bahamas, they may not have a website. Think about all those people, if you've ever taken a cruise and you get to a cruise terminal and they have street vendors all up and down the road. They sell wedding or dresses, they sell straw hats, they sell, what about all those people? they don't need a website anymore, right? They can pay $9.99. And I know a lot of people just advertise on Facebook. They don't have that website. But for $9.99 a month, can you make that listing have plenty of information that they don't need a website, that they don't, like big street vendors, those guys don't even have a website. Well, they pay $9 to get online with everything about their business, phone number, shopping hours, where are they located, general description. Yeah, and you can capture a lot more business than Google My Business can, and that's my personal opinion on over 70 directories. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. My site is way better. My kiteboarding directory is way better than Google. Because in Google, I have to know what I want. I can't plan a vacation on Google. I can put in search terms on Google and try to plan around that. But is Google going to tell me that it's windy in Brazil in January? No, I have to go into these places, maybe even call a place and be like, hey, is it windy in January? I want to come down there with my family. Is that possible? So again, you can offer a lot more than what you think.
Can I have another question, team?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. How about I'm planning to have like a blog on my website. Then I will make it an option for all those listed companies to be able to have their own blog. Does it improve the SEO in this case, or doesn't, or marginally? What do you think?
I think any post content you can add to your site adds value to your website. Is it the best SEO, especially if somebody else is submitting it? Maybe not. Can you touch it up and use those sites and grab those keywords? Yes. Right. I got blog post sites out there with 500 blogs, and they get SEO from, even if they didn't know anything about SEO, they get some form of value, something caught online, and they're doing great. So yes, allowing users to submit content or you submitting content will add to your SEO. The better you know what words you should be using, the better you're going to do, right? Cape Hatteras kiteboarding, I attacked that, got first page in 2 days, so, and again, it's not a strong keyword, it's not kiteboarding, but yeah, anybody that types in Cape Hatter, that I pull up, I get visibility. Now, again, I use tools and keywords online to track those keywords, because I don't know what works, right? I can't just make up a keyword and be like, oh yeah, that's going to be great. I have to use terms that are proven and go off algorithms. So again, I use those programs. Again, you can use them for free. You can do a trial. You can, utilize that. But yeah, definitely more content you have. Content is king. That's just how it works. Any other questions? Mark, your hand is raised.
No, yes, thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Listen, Mark, if you have any other questions, you guys know how to reach me, right? Before anybody, I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes. Again, I'll stick around for 30 more if anybody needs me. But just so you guys know, you can join. My group is the Listing Pro team. If you hadn't already seen, the other group is Listing Pro Users Group, which I'll bring up again. And then I'll give you guys, I'm going to show it on screen. Give me just a sec. Listing Pro User Group. This is another big group. Not just me, right? So right now you got me answering all your questions, and I have no problem with any of them because I'm pretty proficient. But this group has 3,500 members. Some of these guys might be more inclined with SEO than I am, and maybe not. But Listing Pro User Group, definitely a good group to join and ask some questions. And if you guys don't already know, I have a website which you can ask me directly. So overnightcoder.com. Don't take a look at the design. It's just a tutorial website. Hit the contact me. I respond same day, so again, I stopped giving out my email because I get bombarded with easy questions. But if you want to take the time, Overnight Coder, definitely reach out any one of those forms of action. If you already have my email, like some of you guys do, feel free, shoot me a message, direct message on Facebook, I respond. But perfect. Let's get a few more questions. Kiteboarding for Yous. Oh, Eugene, you busted me. So Eugene, I'm going to answer this only because I'm honest, I'm uncut, raw, uncensored. Kiteboarding for You started off as a Listing Pro directory, my friend. So he asked, is this using a plugin? It's not using Listing Pro. You're right. I have built over 70 Listing Pro directories, but this was a custom design only because there was a bunch of things that I wanted to do. When you're picking a theme, you should pick a theme, and most of us have already picked ListingPro. It was the best directory I found out of the box for my ListingPro needs. I got to a point where I wanted to do a bunch of other things that wasn't ListingPro related. And when you do that, most non-developer, I'm a developer, most non-developers will just grab a plugin, right? You want to do events, you want to do a job board, you want to do a forum, you want to do a user messaging system where users can message each other. So I had a lot of success with ListingPro. And because you asked the question, I did switch and went custom. I won't go into what I use for custom unless you contact me directly. But yeah, I needed a lot more, like I need to be able to grow outside of the features that came with the theme. Again, the theme is great. Don't get me wrong. I'll create 50 more themes and niches with just that. But the custom, I designed everything from scratch. So again, as a developer, I had time to do that. And now, you know, I'm developing sites in ListingPro as well as custom solutions as well. And there are some people, like what you don't want to do, and this is my insight, and I get to a lot of sites, they ask me to do some modifications or they ask me to help them. I log in and they have 50 plugins. And 50 plugins, not supported by ListingPro, but doing their own different thing. At some point, things start breaking, right? When you go to update day, things don't work, right? I think Docan, Mark, I think Docan will work. You want to create a backup before you try that, because I don't think I've tried it with ListingPro, but I'm pretty comfortable with using Docan in other situations, which is just an affiliate plugin for you know, online marketing and sales. And I think it will work, but again, I just haven't had that. I would definitely create a backup or a staging server before you tried it. And I don't see why it wouldn't work. But again, I just haven't tested it personally. I've tested a lot of plugins with ListingPro. But Eugene, that was a great question. Mark, that was a great question. I actually show you some. Actually, I won't. I got a lot of work that just the custom designs. You know, you have a lot of fun with, but again, you have to create them from scratch. ListingPro, again, the best theme I could find outside the box. Like just if especially if you're not a developer, oh, it's got everything. Just to give you a little background, 3 years ago, I downloaded and paid for 5 different themes for a client testing out business directories. ListingPro, by far, after testing and spending over $300-400, ListingPro is the best. Now to date, I've tested a lot more, right? People come to me and they're like, oh, I'm on Brilliant Directories and I'm trying to see, yeah, those guys are moving to ListingPro. So I've tried a lot more after the fact, but even when I first started, out of the box, best solution there is. And again, I'm not affiliated. They don't pay me any money to say that. Now, Sam's still in his car driving. He's got 2 users in here, so I know he's listening. He'll tell you best regardless, right? Because he works for him. But this is just the honest opinion. It is one of the best themes. You know, it's the best directory theme that they have out. And maybe he'll chime in. But this is the it's not the end of the meeting. Again, we've got a bunch of users. I'll stick around as long as you guys have questions. But for anybody who just has to go and doesn't have any questions, by all means, you've been here for 90 minutes. Again, I'd like to stick around, you know, answer any other following questions. I can stick around for as long as you guys can. So any other questions while we're here in the chat? I know I've been talking about monetization. I will give you, just because I wanted to touch monetization, but instead of touching monetization, I'm going to point you to the video. I hate how it just shows all my favorite songs and everything else, right? So, but yeah, YouTube is great for that. So videos, I do have a making money with ListingPro video. Now, I'll be honest, it doesn't, I know ListingPro is pretty direct with how you can make money. My video goes outside that as well as inside that. Like, how can you make money with ListingPro? Well, being that I have so many clients, I can give you some other ways. All right, I'll give you a perfect example. Weddings or kiteboarding or hotels. Concierge service, right? If somebody called Mark up and was like, and he had a button there that says, hey, you're going to be traveling to this location, but you need something. Mark could actually charge $9.99 or $49.99 and be like, hey, where are you looking to stay? What days are you looking to book? And Mark could actually do all the legwork, especially with weddings, right? Weddings is one of those where like the bride is like, oh, I need this, 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 and this, and this. Have a button. You'll hook her up. do a questionnaire, contact form, or contact her directly, find out what she's looking for, and then send her the list of premium listings on your site. Not only does that get you a little bit, like I charge for that, I charge for a premium service if you need my help. And then I send you a list of people who I hand pick, and those people are already paying me extra money anyways. Those are just a few ways out of the box. What about that lead form we talked about earlier, where that guy was selling 3 different leads to 3 different locations? I actually do that on my kiteboarding site. If the person doesn't respond to me, I'll message 3 other companies because I'm trying to service the user. And I don't try to sell the lead for 40 bucks. I'll be like, hey, sign up. This person's coming to Brazil. They need kiteboarding lessons, but they came to my site directly. Why aren't you guys there? So many things outside of what ListingPro already offers. And ListingPro already comes with a great solution, right? Advertisements. I will touch base on advertisements. I don't like, well, I used to say Google Ads, right? If everybody looks at the theme options, you can place Google Ads in your business. I wasn't really a fan of somebody clicking on a Google ad and me getting paid 30 cents versus them instantly leaving my website. But somebody in a third world country was like, look, I'm making a lot of money where, and a lot of money, we mean a lot of third world money by Google Ads. And, my big thing, so give another bit of background. In 2016, in 1 month, I made $80,000 off of advertisements. And the very next month, my account was suspended. But still, I made 80 grand and I got paid 80 grand in 1 month for advertising. What that means is, yes, you can make a lot of money with Google Ads, but I find that premium ads that suit your customer, like let's say hotel industry for Mark. What happens if you did flights, right? Flight affiliates. You can search Google right now for flight affiliate companies and find widgets and advertisements. You don't have to get 30 cents from Google AdSense. You can literally have people go over to a flight company to book a flight to your location. And I feel like it offers something custom, right? Because he needs people flying in to visit these places. Or in kiteboarding, right? Equipment, in weddings, what do you have? Okay, well, skip that. What about hosting, right? In all my videos, you'll see my link to my hosting because I get paid $50 if you sign up to Cloudways, right? 50 bucks, way better than 30 cents. And that 30 cents that I'm talking about that Google Ads will pay you, I don't even know what the ad is going to be. It might be about pianos for your kid. Who knows what that Google ad is going to show? With targeted ads, I can sign up to a company that I trust, and all my web design clients need hosting. Why not refer them something that I'm comfortable with and make 50 bucks? So again, you don't have to use Google ads, but you can use affiliate ads. Hell, you can sell advertisement space by asking somebody for $400 or $99 a month and show something related on your website. But this video goes into a lot of that, right? How to monetize with making money, and especially for different niches. I have a bunch of ideas. If you guys ever want to reach out, I can give you some ideas that I think for your specific niche that would work great. Mark, there's not, can we integrate? There's not an out-of-box with Docan. Oh, that was Sam. Hey, he's in the car and he's texting. Oh no, look out for that deer. I'm just kidding. Awesome. There's no integration with the theme, but definitely what are you trying to achieve? Thank you, Gene. What do you think of a restaurant guide directory? It is considered a niche. How can we different from Google My Business? Create value for restaurant guide directory. Eugene, it depends, man. I'll give you a couple examples. I don't want to break down because your niche is going to be hard. If it's in a specific location, even better. I will tell you that when I listen to the radio, I take my girls to school. It's only a 10-minute ride there and back. Every time I turn it on, I happen to be following, they're talking about Susie the foodie, who has an Instagram, not shouting her out, promise you. But she's always giving these great recommendations for the area. And I actually find it, even though I'm not like a foodie person, like I do like different types of foods, but I'm not like out there trying new stuff. I actually like it. Like, and everything she's talking about are these new businesses, these great gems. So I think that there are a bunch of people that are in that niche. How can you be better than Google My Business? Well, the good thing about it is Susie the foodie isn't recommending everything that's on Google. She's recommending things that are awesome, you know, things that she found were awesome. And I think that if you had a restaurant guide, like if I did a restaurant guide in Orlando, and just saying, you know, my location, Orlando, Florida, United States, once I find that site once, I'm going to use that site, right? Because I can't, like I'm on DoorDash. I can't use DoorDash or Google and just be like restaurants near me all the time and find what I'm looking for. Like I just can't. It's going to recommend the same things every time I go there until I start typing in other keywords. Now with your restaurant directory, yeah, I mean, I can go there, and especially like just keeping my niche, Orlando, Florida, I can find something new in Orlando. I can find, you know, and especially when you start doing like features, what about Kids Eat Free Tuesdays, you know, or Taco Tuesday, or buy one, get one free? With your features in a directory, you can actually list things like that and make your directory more than Google My Business. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like there's so many options you can do outside the boat of just having, no, if you just have listings, okay, it is what it is. Shelby, go ahead. I see you got your hand up.
Okay, so I had a separate question, but I just wanted to kind of go off of what you just said, because I had the same idea of kind of like what Eugene's asking. And so my idea for adding a value that differentiates from what the Google My Business listing would be, like for restaurants specifically, would be like I was planning on doing like a do it for me option, because a lot of businesses, at least in my area, don't either know how or don't have the time to go in and fill out all the information on their Google business listing. So like they don't have their menu on there. They don't have any extra features, you know, payment methods or anything like that. So I was thinking about, you know, what kind of support content I could add that like just makes it really simple for them to do their listing on my site, or, you know, just doing it for them so that they have a really good, you know, looking listing. And I think that that will kind of, you know, give added value to separate you from Google My Business. But I mean, I haven't made it that far yet. It was just an idea. So I kind of wanted to see what everybody else thought about that.
This guy, if this guy would update his page, I'm showing you, I don't know what's going on. I might reach out to him, but Pre-Lifestyles is a great listing pro. Unfortunately, his ad listing page, something's going on there. There's always something broke on his site, but it's obviously user negligence. This was a great idea. So I wanted to show you, and it's unfortunate that it doesn't work now. This is one of the older Listing Pro sites that looks really good. And in his, I don't know if we can see it other than his pricing plan page, which is having an issue. This little piece right here is definitely having an issue. But if you scroll down, he has, hey, you can do banner add-ons, you can do ticketing features, and this is the part you were just talking about. Get a professional looking listing page with customized designs, right? So a lot of business owners, what are they gonna do? They're gonna copy and paste their stuff from Google or copy and paste their stuff from website, add it to your listing. Does that add value? Well, yeah, we said content is king, so it adds a little bit of value. But what if you, excuse me, what if you created a whole new request, right? This is just Elementor, him creating something. You take a payment, or maybe you don't take a payment, and you offer them a customized, here's just goes to a form, a customized listing page where you now are adding all of their details that they've submitted, and you can make that better. So not only are you taking some type of payment, right? In my case, I definitely take a payment, whether it was $9 or $20. You also buy the plan, but now I will add your content, which, think about the SEO value. Now you can add keyword terms that help him out as well as help your own site out. So again, my example, kiteboarding lessons would definitely be in there, right? We offer kite, but I want him to get more traffic than copied and pasted stuff. Somebody brought up those new AI bots. Because I hadn't used them, I didn't know much about AI bots. Now I'm using a free one called Quillbot, but Jarvis, any of those AI bots, I will literally take your bio, throw it in Quillbot or an AI bot that will transform that content into general unique content, and I'll throw that right up there using my keywords as well. And Shelby, you're right. There's a two-part advantage. Not only maybe you took a payment up front, that's the third part, but now you're getting then more traffic with the keywords that you think people will view to get their listing, as well as your own site using that generalist keyword list that we talked about earlier. I'd include some of those too, and it doesn't hurt them. It only helps both of us. So yeah, definitely, I agree. And I've seen this on a lot of sites, you know, hey, we'll help you with the idealistic listing. Matter of fact, we'll submit it. And then I think he even gives examples on what a perfect listing should look like. And they'll, you know, he explains everything. You know, sliding image banner here, listing features, make sure you add all your features. And this guy, this is prelifestyles.com, went really in depth with a lot of additionals that, you know, were custom pages. Claire, Quillbot, yeah, I use the free maximum photo just because I'm not cheap. I support 6, so 700 words if I log in is good enough for me. I'll do multiple paragraphs.
I've got the free one.
Yeah, I'm not opt to it. Like I like to make money as I grow. Like I just can't, you know, fathom getting 50 plugins. Not that I use plugins like that, but you know, paying for everything premium. If the site, once the site's making money, oh yeah. I mean, granted, I'll buy whatever's needed. What is the maximum photo should be allowed on a free listing? Number of photos on the free listing. You know, it's gonna be up to you, Ken. First off, you pay for server resources. So you know, it's a free listing, 1 to 3. You know what? Let's be honest. Whatever makes your design look better, right? So let's take a look at one of his listings. If you're using the listing style that has the sliders on the top, and this one doesn't look great, but you know, 3 to 5, yeah, because I want my website to look good. If you only allowed 1, could in this listing style, I think this is listing style 1. 1 image up here is not going to look good. So like on a free listing, I might offer 5 images, but you don't get all this information. You don't get a lead form. You know, you might get the name, title. I want the map, so I'll let you do location, but no video, none of that, right? Free listing is a free listing. And yeah, if you want to upgrade by all, yeah, Snap GUI only offer 1 photo, but it's look good, you know, Snap. When I scrape, I normally don't scrape any listings or any photos just because I want you. I have that default image, which has usually the logo of the site. Oh, is this Listing Pro? This looks good. I don't know if it's Listing Pro though. Maybe. Yeah, it's Listing Pro. This guy's done a bunch of, okay, but for his free, he only offers 1. Could you imagine just 1 photo up here? Not gonna look good. Right. But again, it's their choice. It's whatever they want to do. And it's more incentive if it doesn't look good to upgrade. This site's got a lot of customization. I didn't even know if it was Listing Pro when I first looked at it. It's a good job. Is this yours, Ken? Well, no. Here's another good one. It's just custom. You don't really know it's Listing Pro when you're looking at it until you get into the listing pages. There's a bunch like this. I've seen a bunch. Peak District runs a really good site that looks like Listing Pro, but really good. And again, it's the time that you want to put into it. Vicky, I'm not sure. You know, will Listing Pro ever allow Google reviews to be visible? I know that some people have integrated some type of software that allows it, but there's got to be a relation between their Google My Business listing, which might be a link, compared to, so I know that you can customize this. I don't know if this is needed by everybody. While a lot of people might want reviews from Google to be pulled over here, Perfect Eugene said he did it with some custom code. But
yeah, I think Eugene's the one in the Facebook group. He has that really sweet looking, they did custom code and added the Google reviews, and then he averaged them with his reviews. I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, perfect.
His looks really good.
Sounds like another conversation you guys probably should have, definitely with custom code. I find some reasons not to do it. And that's just me specifically. I want, and again, the averaging in sounds great. If you weren't a developer and didn't have, like, you know, the resources that Eugene may have had, it just was a downfall for me, because I want people to log in and use this as a review baiting system. Now, I will tell you, so here's the funny thing, right? Reviews only come when you ask for reviews. I know that some people, yes, some people log in and just add horrible reviews, right? But if you take a look, I'll give you a perfect example. So this is the place that I instructed for. I'm not going to go after everything, but look, I think it was Tim and Lucy. Tim and Lucy were awesome today, right? Here's another one, Tim, Roman, Yada, right? Most of these reviews, Tim and Lucy, here's, I got plenty of 5-star reviews, and I can just go down this list. I mean, I nonstop reviews in here. I had to ask for them because most people, and tell you the truth, I asked for them right on the spot. But if I ask for them and you get reviews, that's another thing that Google might not have, is these custom reviews that have custom content. Again, we could go down this, and I don't want to, vouch for myself, but I've got plenty of reviews that just say, oh, Tim was the funniest person I ever had, and they're just on and on and on. But I had to, I literally, here's my trick. I asked for reviews. Matter of fact, I actually did it in a way that you can't actually do it with all your listing directories. But while they were there, I was like, hey, how do you rate the service? Was it a good service? Like if you had to rate it on 1 to 5 stars, you're like, oh, this is a great service. It was 5 stars. I'm like, perfect. Do you have your phone with you? I pull up the site and let them leave a review right there. And I got so many listing reviews that it was crazy, and it blew up. I can tell you more than half of these are reviews about Tim. Our instructor was Tim. This is Tim. So again, it brought positive value. If I could have gotten all these reviews on my directory instead of on this business website, which I no longer work for, would have been much more valuable. But again, it's like you're giving, yeah, you can have people post reviews on the business listing, but I'd rather have them at my site, which also leads me to say, then people are interacting with your site. They're coming back. They're leaving reviews. They've got a reason to log in. They've got a reason to save listings. So again, I felt it was really profitable to get them on my own website and not just Google. Tim did a great. I loved going back and reading these. Right? It's top notch. But yeah. So that's just my opinion. But again, Eugene, check out his Facebook page. Maybe he'll share with the group how he did it. That'd be great. Eugene and Ed. I'm sure Sam might even offer you some type of discount or add-on coupon if you wanted to do a tutorial. If he doesn't, I'll pay for, some type of tutorial if you just want to help everybody else out, post it. But again, we appreciate anything that helps out the consumer. Your site looks awesome. Featured in our blog post. Hey, you just got featured if you want. I love it. Shelby's is looking good too. I love it.
Hey Tim, so when you do when you scrape listings, you're not scraping any reviews from Google, you're just starting blank with no reviews on your site?
I'm personally am not starting with any reviews. The purpose of my site isn't for you to have Google reviews on there, it's to have limited scrape content. Right. And again, I go with basic information. I got a Fiverr guy who I use religiously. And I pull up a CSV list, but I don't even use half the things that he provides. Like, I want you to see your listing and claim it. Like, matter of fact, if I could put in the wrong photo, I might even do that because I want you to go in there and change it. That's my whole thing is free listings are free. You're offering content so my site looks filled, but oh no. It's still a free listing. That's my personal opinion because then I can upsell that.
Do you ever put affiliate links in so I have like job listings on there, stuff like that, like real estate listings. I was wondering if you've ever put affiliate links in let's just say like the job listings, like ZipRecruiter affiliate links or anything like that.
Yeah, you definitely can. Is there an example?
Well, I haven't really gotten that far yet, but so I was just doing this initially just to generate more traffic so that people have a reason to go to the website, is like the people locally can go just see, jobs, stuff for sale, just to get traffic going. But I was just thinking about another way to monetize off of that.
Listen, Shelby, if you want to do like a review of your site, I'd be glad to. I don't want to start ripping things open and I don't have permission. People tell me to shut my mouth. So I don't want to do that, but I have a bunch of comments, suggestions, things that you could do to make it better.
Oh yeah, again, go for it. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. I'm open to all suggestions.
No, listen, again, this is my personal opinion as a web designer who's done several of these, and I won't get too in depth. So again, contact me directly. You have my Facebook and anything else, and we can go into it. But there's a lot of things, right? The ZipRecruiter. So first off, would I want to, if they paid for a listing, I don't want to put any affiliate links in there, right? I don't want you to think like I'm trying to take away from what you're paying me for. If you're paying, if you're not paying, hey, I'll put whatever I want in that business listing. Some of the things that I'm already seeing, like this would look better in your image gallery. And I know you might not, actually, this looks like a blog post, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I did it as a post instead of
Yeah.
like a listing. And yeah, I was just trying to do it as fast as possible, copying the images over. And so I couldn't get the gallery going, but yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That works, just add it as a gallery inside Elemental or WP Baker or whatever you're using. As far as some of the design aspects, we could definitely go over. Your site looks really good. Like I like the way that you've kept your colors. Some of the spacing is just like obviously a little bit off from small to big, but again,
Yeah.
there's so much you can utilize from this. That advanced CSS section will actually help you because again, I don't teach you how to be a developer, but I show you how to switch this color. Right, because yeah, you're using greens and blues and that looks great. But when you come down here, now all of a sudden you're using red, yellow, and baby blue. Well, check this out, inspect element, right? And my video goes over that. You can easily change that. Let's change it to whatever your blue color is to this. And now, well, that's not really visible. So I might go with the green on that one. But now you've got something that matches your color scheme, right? And all you'd have to do is copy this and put it in your CSS file to make everything look consistent. And you've done a really good job above normal. But same thing, this pink, oh no, right? That doesn't match anything on your website. And although you might like it, you can do the same thing. Damn, I've got blue. I don't want the border that. I want border blue as well. And you can change individual things. What do? I copy this, put it inside the CSS. So there's a bunch of things that you can do without, you don't have to be a developer. I just gave you hey, just copy this, put it in customized CSS. To make this look more like your website, not stand out. But again, there's so many things we can do. As far as affiliate links, yeah, if you paid for free and I add your listing, I'll add whatever I want. That's just me. By all means, if you paid for it, I try not to show too much advertisement. You paid for the listing, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That would be kind of sketch to let somebody pay for it and then you put your affiliate listing on there. But those are more like scraped off the web, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it looks good. I can't tell what business plan they are anyway. And again, one was just a blog post. So again, just giving you the ideas to kind of set it out, everything custom. Your site's looking really good. One of my big things is if you don't have the traffic, and this is personal opinion, you take it how it is. Third world country, somebody proved me wrong, but eliminate the ads. If you're not making ad traffic, last thing you want, you're going to make money on this click, but last thing you want is here, I'm looking at your website, bam, I see, oh wait, Tesla Model 3, damn, I had the Model 2. Look what just happened. I'm no longer on your website. You might have got 30 cents from that. Matter of fact, you could check your stats later. You definitely got paid for that. But if you don't have the traffic, convert into people doing something with your website, like more page views, more adding a listing. I'm going to give you a better example. If I was running a shop, like, I was selling products, I would never have an advertisement on my page because the goal is to buy that shop product. I don't want you 30 cents. I don't care if you go see an ad, but there are reasons I would put advertisements on my page. All right. If my directory is not making any money, but I'm getting thousands of views, hell yeah, I'm putting an ad on there, right? Because I'm more worried about just trying to make some money. But if you're trying to sell something, related, I probably, and yours isn't that spammy, like this just popped up at the bottom, some at the top. But keep that in mind. I see some people that have ads all over their page, and I'm like, dude, for 30 cents, do you really want somebody leaving your page? I don't. I'm here to sell kiteboarding, whether they want to or not. That's what but again, this isn't that intrusive, and I'm not pointing this out specifically. I'm just letting you know, right? If you don't even have the traffic and you're launching, remove the ad. It's just, and I like the way yours pops up and down, but not speaking directly to you, I promise.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. You had actually already convinced me to remove that earlier when you were talking about using, better paying affiliate links instead of Google AdSense. So I was already planning on removing that, but I didn't even think about them leaving my page to click on those. So yeah, that just makes it even worse.
Yeah, and you can actually find, I promise you, there's something almost in everybody's ad, so I can look up landscaping, affiliates right now and find some type of affiliate platform that I could sell something landscape, and it would be related to what I'm trying to do. Kiteboarding, plenty of affiliates. Hosting, plenty of affiliates. Restaurants, plenty of affiliates. And I'd much rather be related to Tesla. Tesla, that car ad that we just seen, nothing to do with your website, right? Nothing. I mean, this, as far as I know, just looking at your website, nothing to do with them. No, I will show you, what is it? Tennis tourist directory, maybe. Here's a site that we, this is not it. This is her blog page that we also did. I forget where her directory is right here. So I didn't do all this site. I can't take credit for it because I definitely, there's some styling in here that I just don't like. But of course, the client took the site over and did some of this stuff. But what we actually did was she wanted an advertising and sponsorship page. So you're going to notice something. Everything on the right was Listing Pro. With Listing Pro, if you have a listing, you can do a spotlight ad on the homepage. You can do top of the search ad, or you can do a sidebar listing ad. And that's all in Listing Pro theme options. So what does it say? It says, yeah, if you already have a free, this is how you access it. So this was just information. But what about everything on the left? Everything on the left was actually just a little bit of custom coding with a button that went to Stripe. And then after that, it goes to a contact form where they can submit their information. And what is it? It's where people can advertise different things. Like in this case, she has people that can advertise on the bottom of her homepage for $5.99 a year, or they can advertise on her blog sidebars for $99 a month. And they can show up in a banner, 728 by 90 for $125 a month. And this was a super easy addition to get, like in her niche. So I don't know her niche, but I know my niche. I have kiteboarding shops and schools that are businesses. But what about distributors, people that make the gear? They don't fit in my directory, but they got mega money. Like they are the main people of the sport. But again, they don't fit in my directory. Can they advertise on my site? Yeah, for the same price everybody else can. So you click the buy now button. This goes to some Stripe type payment, which was just a simple Stripe plugin that says, hey, pay me. After you make that payment, it goes over to a submission form that says, hey, what's your link and your image? And now what she's getting, matter of fact, the day we created this, she actually had 2 people sign up for the sponsorship. So she made 1,200 extra bucks and placed a logo somewhere around her site. And with that being said, I think I only charged her 125. So she made a junk load of commission and now has the user ability to kind of add advertisements where she wants that they're not good. It's not 30 cents, right? And it's not a Tesla car. It's people that fit in her niche that she's chosen to take on. So much better than taking your 30 cents that's non-related. So thanks for coming, Ken. Anybody else that's got to back out? Again, been here 30 minutes over the time. I'll stick around. Again, I won't give you my whole day, but another 20 minutes. If anybody has any questions, comments, if you guys have to leave now, by all means, thank you for coming. We do this weekly. So Saturday, the same time next Saturday. I'm not sure about Christmas and the holidays. I got to talk to Sam. I'm not even sure what day it falls on, to tell you the truth, but watch around those. But we'd love to see you weekly, and I'll switch up some topics as well as questions and answers. Anybody else with questions and answers? I haven't heard from a lot of you guys. I know you came for a reason. Otherwise, Shelby's got some more. Shelby's been prime time. Sam's going to hook you up. I can't vouch for Sam's going to hook you up with some type of add-on, I'm sure, Shelby. He's going to hook you up for something you want to test. Whether it's Email Blaster Pro, I guarantee he's going to hook you up. Isn't that right, Sam? Sorry, he normally joins us in voice. He's just in car responding. So I'll make sure that the most active person always gets something great.
Hey, I just got enough value out of this just talking to you in general. So don't worry about having to hook me up with anything. This has been great.
Listen, it's a freebie. He's got millions. Let him hook you up. If you use it, you use it. I'll actually tell you there are a bunch of add-ons that, like if you're not using MailChimp or something, Email Blaster Pro is one of the add-ons. For 99 bucks, it was great. You could like email some of your clients follow-ups. You can rate the templates. The Listing Pro, the Medical Pro, if you ever want to upgrade to that, or Event Pro to sell tickets and stuff, gets even better. I know with your niche is a little bit different, but they've got a bunch of great add-ons there coming, as well as already. Matter of fact, the Android app Just getting a free app or a paid app, whatever the case may be. Everything just helps a business directory. Now, I will tell you, Shelby, I didn't have a lot of time, and I don't want to go into your site specifically, but there was 4 or 5 meetings ago, we had Rosemarie. We ripped her site open, like right here on chat, and we watched how she made all the changes, and she's come a long way from again, I don't know what business you're in. I'm a web developer, so I know it looks good online, right? And I can tell you that yellow on yellow doesn't look good. I can tell you that pink in the middle of your green and blue website, just, it doesn't fit, and getting that free advice where normally somebody's going to charge you, it's priceless. And again, if you want to reach out to me directly, or if you just want to come next week, we can literally take the time to rip that thing open. Again, a lot of the big things is the spacing on the homepage. You want equal space between everything. Sometimes I've seen a hairline, and sometimes I've seen something as big as my thumb. So just consistent padding, and a lot of that, I'll help you out.
Yeah, that's great. There's a lot of stuff that you don't realize when you look at your site so much. And so having somebody else look at it and point that stuff out, it's really helpful.
Oh, definitely. Claire, you got your hand up. What's going on, Claire?
Yeah, just a quickie. When you were talking about the blog posts, what's your thoughts then of dragging in a feed from a location specific news outlet? So will that provide, value to them? Will that help with any SEO? I mean, what mine is, but if it's a location based one.
Claire, I'll be honest. We're talking about the Isle of Wight, right?
Yeah.
I want to personally tell you, as a friend, or as a from friend to friend, or in my perspective, because I'm helping you out with your site, I wouldn't do that. Yes, anybody else, content is king. If you can get more content on your site, you'll get more traffic. But Claire, I know exactly what you're trying to do. I think that you will be more beneficial with custom content. You might, listen, I'm not a blog writer. I'll tell you that right now.
Neither am I.
Can I type about a niche like kiteboarding that I know about? I can type about it. I mean, I might have to use Grammarly and check my spelling, but again, I'm a developer. Now, another easy way is, again, taking one of those free AI bots or free trials and converting the content into something else and using the keywords that you're going to find. The reason I say that is you're going to get more value. If you just copy something from Google, yes, you do have the content, but Google doesn't recognize that as better SEO. You're never going to rank above that company unless your business is better than whatever you're doing, which might be a blog site for all your area. And in most cases, not. So if you can get custom content, you'll go a lot further than copying somebody else's content. And again, if you don't have that time, hell, get some blogs on your site. I can't tell you not to, but if you had time to either custom write or Quillbot or AI bot some of that custom content in there with keywords that are going to work, that's going to be 90 times better.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have plugins that will scrape content from a feed source and put them on a WordPress site like nobody's business, and I've made thousands of dollars from doing that just on content alone. But no, if we're talking about like a better value, it would have been way better if we had what we have nowadays with those. I didn't even believe in the AI bots until a few conversations ago, and I started checking it out. Now I can't imagine why I didn't use it.
I used one called Spin Rewriter. Similar to Quillbot as well, but I quite prefer the Quillbot free version rather than paying for it.
Free is right up my alley.
Yeah.
So again, once you have that keyword list, you can integrate some of those keywords, right? Even you Quillbot it, and then even if you're looking over it just to revise it, and then add those keywords that you think are promising for that, like Cape Hatteras kiteboarding. Yeah, I do a whole blog post just about Cape Hatteras kiteboarding, and use that keyword after I Quillbot somebody else's junk. I actually type my own because I know enough about kiteboarding in general that yes, I can write a couple articles. I also hired somebody else, right? And I gave her $100 for 3 articles, and she's a kiteboarder I know, and she travels. So, again, paying somebody for content, I'm cool with that. If my site's making money, if it's not making any money, I can't spend any money, but if it's making money, oh yeah, I'll spend all my revenue on making my site better
Okay.
until I want to earn that revenue, right?
Mm.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate the time. We're losing people like left and right. That's all right. I appreciate those who are still here. Any last questions? Stick around for a few more minutes. What do you guys think? Claire, anything else while we're talking about it?
Sorry, I muted myself again. No, I'm going to go and watch the first bit because I kept dropping out because I was driving back because it obviously gets dark over here early. So no, I'll watch it back and I'll write down my stuff.
Claire, this won't be up until a couple days, so I apologize. I have some other videos out there, but unfortunately it doesn't go live instantly. I have to wait for Sam, the host, to get somewhere and send me the video, which will probably be tonight, tomorrow. Then I gotta
that's fine.
upload it. But this will definitely be out. And again, there's a lot of information on the channel. The cool thing about the webinars is I didn't really know this, but I actually started playing them in my car because you don't really need to see the screen. But like I was just listening to my playback and I was like, okay, I can do this, you know, YouTube on my phone. It's Bluetooth to the car. And I'm just like, yeah, I love it. So it's
that's how I found.
you can do it anywhere.
That's how I found ListingPro, is through your YouTube channel. So I'm familiar with your channel, so I can go and watch them again.
Nice. Thanks for the support. So Claire's one that we have ListingPro. She reached out to me as a developer, and she doesn't have all the time that she would like, you know, with her busy schedule. So we're going to be doing just she already had something up. We'll be doing a couple hours or a few hours just touching up styling, which is, I normally don't do any self-promotion here, guys, but again, you know, if you need any help, there's different ways you can get help, right? I offer hourly, either consultation or hourly work. And we also do designs from start to finish. ListingPro has a customization department that you can literally go and tell them what you want. They'll customize it, as well as me too. And again, I've been doing this 2 years. I was a regular web developer, but now, well, I just stay busy. I got 14 directories going up, including Claire's 15. And again, I'm a little backed up on some of the full designs, but the hourly work we can usually accommodate between people. Now, if you guys are just asking about, you know, free questions and free help, we don't mind. Like I told Shelby, you know, we can rip open a design and give you, you know, the benefits that you can do. There's no charge for that. Matter of fact, you join those Facebook groups, there's no charge for joining Facebook. There's no charge for asking questions. And again, you'll have a bunch of information there. So make sure you check it out. Any other questions before we let everybody go off? My wife just sent an invoice for $450. It's like, hey, I hope your webinar is going well. Here's what I spent today. Can you pay this? It's like, sheesh. You guys have those significant others that just do that. My wife's stay-at-home mom, and I'm just like, oh, I mean, I love her and my kids to death. Jesus. One of us is trying to make money, right? One of us is out just having a good old time. So yeah, could use more customized designs, especially with my wife spending this. I'm just kidding. Any other questions? Shelby, don't let me down. One more question for you. Let's do it. I love you to death. This is Shelby and Claire. You guys have been awesome. Mark as well. Everybody's been awesome, but you guys really held the show. We appreciate that. And again, Shelby, if you want to put some type of email in there, I'll make sure Sam sends you something. Again, I know you don't want it, but if matter of fact, you can direct message me so everybody doesn't have your email, and I'll make sure you get some type of add-on that he'll help you out with something. Just for, I know he does something great activity, or I know we didn't do it last week, so if he doesn't do it, I'll purchase it. Make sure you let us know your email. You can do that direct message, or you can message me on anything you want.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all your help.
No, this is what we do, right? So the more, and not only that, I want you to know, I actually learned from you guys. There's a bunch of things that some be like, hey, I don't know why this is happening. And most of the time I'm just like, oh, just go to theme options, go here, click here and do that. I take on a lot of jobs for free, like a lot of questions for free, just because I don't know why it's happening. And sometimes it's host, or sometimes but I completely learn from that situation, right? And there's so much to learn. It's not like I'm sharing ideas of everybody else's ideas, but if we all help each other, it's just learn. Like that first video with 30,000 views, that was not, I didn't even have ads on my channel. So there was no YouTube ads, there was no, it was just a help. You know how far I've came from that 30,000 view video? I mean, I definitely make more than 100,000 a year just building directories, which is crazy. Just sitting here at the house, I might even have a beer in my hand, you don't know, while making directories. You know, so it comes with free. You know, it's helping you, and then maybe, you know, word of mouth. I'll be honest, Shelby. There's a portion where you get all these business listings on your website. Some of them need a new website, and you'll see that. Can you offer them a service? And you already know a web designer in your corner, whether it's you, whether it's me. So there's so much business that comes from directories, not just people listing directories, right? So I'm reaching out to kiteboarding companies every day. Hey, you need a website. You know, this looks horrible. You don't even show up on Google. Is that a problem? You know, and again, whatever your niche may be, whether it's SEO, whether it's marketing, whether you just know Facebook really well, you can always help these businesses out with something else. And it's an upsell once you have that database. So again, we appreciate your time. I'm copying over the email. And again, thanks for coming. Final questions, guys. Final questions. No? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming. I hope to see you guys on next Saturday. If you have questions, again, if you want to share your websites, again, you know, a lot of times we'll just rip open those websites if you want. A lot of people, I started ripping open one website. She was like, "Oh, I didn't even ask for that help." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I apologize." So again, we don't want to put anybody on the spot if you don't want it. But again, you know, we're here to help. It doesn't benefit me to give you advice to make your website better. Yes, Eugene, it's same time every Saturday so far. I know we need to accommodate the other side of the world, but until August of next year, I'm signed up 10 o'clock or 11 Eastern every time, or whatever time you join today. Yes, sir. And again, we might switch that, but it definitely won't be for next Saturday. I'll try to come up with another topic as well. I know I didn't do monetization as much as I wanted to. We just covered like how you can advertise. So next week there might be monetization as well as something else. But again, hopefully you have the tools and resources to kind of get you through what you need. And again, if you don't, reach out to me, man. You know, I do this for a living 24/7. So I appreciate your time. Nice, 2:14 a.m. You're a true member, bro. Anytime somebody stays up until 2:14 to finish up a talk, that's true, man. I appreciate that. Again, these will be recorded. I hate to tell people that, but these will be recorded if you just can't make it. Not always, sometimes. But again, these like Eugene, these are specific to you. Right. So if you had questions about your stuff, utilize that, because you won't get that from somebody else's recording about their website. You'll only get the ideas that they wanted to use. So again, this is direct for you. Perfect. Shelby, we got your email. Thanks everybody for coming. Yeah, I'm gonna stick around just for a few minutes, but you guys have a good day and enjoy your morning or night or mid-Saturday. Thanks. Bye.